front and the right foot behind, and the ball is going to go into your right hand. So left knee in front, right hand has the ball. Take a nice deep breath. And we're slowly going to put the ball down to the right side and just slowly roll into the ball just a little bit, inhaling here. And then slowly come back up, reach the ball, and then twist to the left. So let's try that again. So we're gonna lower down to the right, slowly inhale, reach. And then exhale, return up. Inhaling, slowly twisting to the left. And then exhale back. Good, only one more time. So inhaling, leaning into the ball, feeling how that side stretch reaches. Exhale, return and lift. And then slowly inhale, twisting towards the left. And then exhale back. Cool. Bringing your feet over to the other side. Alrighty. And here we go. Rolling into that left hand. Inhale. And maybe again, one side feels kind of tight. I don't know, I feel kind of not very stretchy at this moment, but I think the weather and just being cautious again about moving too fast. And then feeling out that engagement of the expansion and then all of the air out. Great, and then keeping your hips as kind of planted as you can as you stretch out that side body, and then reaching all the way out to your T. Inhaling, shoulders down, twist from your waist, and then exhale back. Great, let's go again. This time the left knee stays here in the front. And we're gonna come all the way onto the side here. So your left side body is lifted, the ball comes into your right hand, right elbow is on your right hip, and you're almost like, not necessarily resting your knee on your left foot, but it's kind of like right behind. Great, from here we're slowly gonna reach on up, open up the knee, so you're keeping your right foot on the floor, reaching the arm, and then exhaling, return. So think about almost just pushing something up with your right knee as you gently reach and twist. And then exhale back. Cool. So it's a little bit of a spinal rotation as you gaze down at the floor, and then push back down with the entirety of the inside of the inner thigh on the right. So we inhale, gently twist and reach. Engage the belly, come on back for the next 2. And then your last one. Super, slowly putting the ball down. Take a nice deep breath. And let's lift up the knee for me here, opening up the chest forward facing. Remember, you can always look down. And from here, we're stretching out that right leg and then re-bending and tapping the floor. So think about keeping your knee lifted. So you're not actually going up or down with the knee. You're simply extending the bottom part of your right leg and then slowly pushing it back down, tapping the toes behind you for the next 4. And remember, we push into the ball, gaze down at the floor if we need to for 3. Kind of reminding that right shoulder to stay all the way down as the left side body gets longer for 2. And then your last one here. Cool, slowly putting that right knee back down on the floor, and then push yourself all the way up. All right, let's try that again on the other side. All right, so coming on down on the right, and then kind of resting your left knee just a little bit onto the bottom part of your right foot. Left foot stays on the floor, left elbow nice and close to your left hip, and then we adjust. Great, so we're slowly twisting as we reach, and then exhaling, pushing back down. And noticing again that gentle side body twist, and then the engagement of the belly, and feeling how the shoulder can reach, and we're still not just letting things go, meaning we're allowing for space to stretch through, but we're still very actively moving here and trying to engage the muscles in all of our body parts. Releasing the hip for a moment, but using that full outer thigh to squeeze, and then the inner thigh to return for the next 3. Great, slowly twisting and pushing. And remembering to push in towards the floor, but also away from the floor. So you're grounding through that right arm, but we're not sinking down. We're still trying to find the lift for your last one here. Great, so ball's gonna come down. Again, we can either look down or up. And then we open up the knee here and then slowly stretch and then return. So almost think about like having that space be really heavy to work through. So you have to engage everything you can push down on the ball to make it a little bit more active with that push and reach for the next 4. And finding that openness through the chest and seeing maybe you can even twist down a little bit more to the floor for 3. And then your last full breath. Super, put the knee down and push yourself all the way back. Alrighty, let's find our way here for a moment, bringing the ball in between the knees and bring the insides of your feet together. Grab underneath your knees for me here and just start to slowly curl down for a moment. Great, and then you're gonna bring your feet a little bit closer to you. Hands come behind your head and start supporting your head, not interlacing your fingers though, more of like a stack on top of each other. Great, we've got a gentle squeeze as we twist over towards the right. And as we come back to the center, we release the right hand down by your side. So we're gonna stay twisting to the right. So we're inhaling, twisting to the right. And then exhale, release and reach on the right. So trying to just stay with that right side feeling of open and then release. And when you twist, you notice how the inner thighs start to melt together. And you still feel that as you slowly release the ball, you notice that you're not shifting your weight too much, right? Your hips are not lifting up or down for the next 3. Keeping that left elbow nice and open for 2. And then your last bit. Cool, keeping your hands behind you. Let's slowly squeeze the ball. Stretch out your left leg all the way in front for a moment. And take a nice deep inhale. Slowly tap those toes down on the left. And then exhale on the way back. Let's reach the arms nice and long down by our side, palms upward facing. So we're squeezing the ball, tapping the toes, hands behind your head, exhale, reach. Now remember, if you feel like, hey, I need to keep my hands supported or supporting my neck, please do so. If you feel like you can add this extra little reach, by all means, let's move this way. Just to kind of feel the difference between a reach and a hold and that stability through the middle. Good, 2 more. And the last one here. Good, let's bring the palms down and just make little mini pulses here for me. And squeezing the ball a little bit extra and just hanging out here for 5. Long deep breaths for 4, keeping that nice gentle pulse with your arms, but squeezing the ball for 3, 2, and 1. Super, foot comes down. Slowly melt yourself down on 3, 2, 1, reaching the arms all the way behind you, inhaling. And then exhale slowly and steadily, finding your way all the way back up, hands behind your head. Great, let's twist to the left. So we inhale, twist to the left, squeezing the ball together. And then exhale, return, reaching that left arm down by your side. And remembering that feeling of keeping the head, neck, and shoulders up. And allowing for the waist to be what's twisting here. As we move for the next 3. And kind of feeling how you can almost wrap your thighs around the ball, right? It's not, it's not just squeezing inwards, but think about like in and wrapping around. Almost like you want to hug the ball as much as you can. Great, your last one. Cool, hands come behind your head. Let's stretch this right leg all the way out in front. And then we slowly tap down on your inhale. And then exhale, release, pump up. So you feeling out the openness, tapping your hands behind your head, and then exhale, reach. And feeling again that left foot stays on the floor, the left knee is not going anywhere. And that squeeze of the ball stays relatively consistent. So if you do feel like you want to add like an extra squeeze when you extend, by all means you may. But we're really trying to keep like a consistency of how much intention and how much pressure we're putting on this ball. Great for the next 2. And then your last one here. Good, squeezing the ball a little bit more, palms come down, we start to gently pulse here with the ends. Just kind of giving your space a little bit more push. Good, squeezing the ball a tiny bit more, taking a look at your hips, making sure that they're nice and happily balanced for the next 3, 2, and 1. Super soles of your feet come right back down. Let's melt ourselves all the way down for 3, 2, and 1. Great. Opening up your arms all the way to your T. Let's take a nice deep inhale. And then actually grab the ball out from in between your thighs, extending the left leg all the way and bringing your right knee in towards the center. And your hand is actually, the ball's going to be in your left hand and your right palm is down. So you have a T shape, but the ball is staying underneath your left hand for me. You're flexing out your left foot. We're taking a nice deep stretch, opening up this right leg up towards the ceiling. Inhale. And then slowly pushing it all the way down, exhaling all the way up for your nice little stretchy bicycle. Good. Inhaling, slowly lowering down, pushing your left hand into the ball, exhaling, exchanging that space to push up. It's kind of noticing that you're pushing the space down, and then it's almost like you're moving the space with your leg to create a little bit more length all the way at the top for the next 2. And the last feeling here. Great, take another deep inhale, bring the knee in towards the center, bringing the ball all the way up towards the ceiling in between your hands. Take a nice deep inhale, and then exhale, slowly lift your head, neck, and shoulders up, floating that left leg just a little bit off the floor. Great, inhaling, reaching underneath, and then exhale, stretch it out. Inhale, right knee comes in, and then exhale, reach. Now, if you feel at any point that you need to put this left foot down, please put the left foot back down. But otherwise, if you can, just kind of hover it along the floor. That would be great for the next 4. And feeling how the space still can get longer for 3. Knee in towards your chest and finding that full reach for 2. And then your last one here. Super, left foot comes down, slowly and steadily melt your knee in towards you, head, neck, and shoulders come down. Great, let's put both of the soles of your feet on the floor, open up your knees, and just allow for a nice little wiggly stretch. Great, and then recalibrate, coming all the way back up towards the center, take the ball into the right hand, palms go down into your T shape, stretching out that right leg all the way here now. And then slowly bringing that left knee in towards the center and stretching up. Great. So remember, keeping that feeling of pushing down into the ball, lowering that left leg, engaging the belly, and then pushing all the way up with the whole tops of your toes. And keeping that flex all the way through your right foot as you inhale, ground into the floor with your belly and your spine. And each time it's still a feeling of, all right, I'm extending that leg, stretching out the hamstrings and just pushing all the way up, allowing my hip to open but still stay supported. Great, your last 2. And then the last moment. Great, gently bend that right knee, bring both hands up towards the ceiling, take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, head, neck, and shoulders come off, and we float that right leg all the way. Great, so we're underneath here, inhaling, and then exhale, stretch. And remember to take a look and feel what this side feels like versus the other side. If you need to put the right foot down, do it. Super, for the next 4. And kind of still saying, can I lift a tiny bit higher? Can I engage my belly a little bit more? Can I make my breath a bit more expansive and then let it all go? Last time. Super, right foot comes down, knee comes in towards your center, and then melt yourself all the way down. 3, 2, 1. Both soles of your feet go back down on the floor, and then just gently open your knees, reaching your arms up by your ears. Take a nice deep breath. and then slowly and steadily bringing both legs all the way out long in front of you. Take a nice inhale, squeeze the ball, arms come up towards the ceiling. Exhale, continue your roll as you find your way all the way back up. 3, 2, and 1. Good. So from here, let's do a little bit of a gentle twisting. So we're going to gently twist towards the right as you give yourself an inhale. And then exhale, squeeze the ball, elbows go out to the side, spine stays nice and long. Inhale, squeeze as you reach. And then exhale back to the middle. Now over to the left. So remember, if at any point you feel like, hey, I can't actually straighten my spine all the way, or I need to bend my knees in order to allow that to happen, please do so. And then find your way back. All right, let's put the right foot on top of the left, seeing if you can kind of stretch out your toes. Staying nice and tall. Remember, bend your knees if you need to. We're inhaling, twisting towards the right. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, release that ball. And then exhale back to the middle. Cool, right foot comes down, the left foot goes on top. Wiggle, wiggle. Inhaling, twisting towards the left. Exhale, squeeze, bring the elbows to the side. And then inhale, reach. And exhale, return. Great, finding your way back to the center. And bring your feet a little bit wider than your mat width. Good, and then we're gonna come up and over our imaginary beach ball, putting the ball down, keeping the belly nice and lifted back, and we're curling forward. So it's not about a flat back. I want you to keep that spine lifted. Inhaling, reach a little bit more. And then exhale, slowly and steadily re-stack up. So think about like lifting your spine up and then bringing the belly button in and up, coming up and over. It's almost like you're diving forward, keeping that spine stretch, flexing through your heels for your moment of reach. Inhale. And then exhale, slowly find your way all the way back up. Good, one more time. Inhale, prepare. And then exhale, slowly reach. Great. Inhaling, engaging the belly. And then exhale, find your way back up on 3, 2, and 1. Cool. Let's bring our legs together and come over actually onto the left side, bringing the ball in between the thighs. So you have your knees, kind of aiming to kiss towards each other. Obviously they're not touching. The insides of your feet are together. Your fingertips on the right are kind of in Spidey mode, and your left arm is at this 90-degree angle. Okay, so first we're gonna start with a nice little squeeze as we bring the knees down a little bit, lifting that right heel up, and then exhale, tap. So small range of motion here. Inhale, squeezing into the ball. You're trying to like open up this area here and just find a feeling of reaching through the toes and then returning. Great, 2 more. And your last one here. Great. So now we're gonna squeeze just like we did. And on the way back, we're gonna bring the feet back together, release that right arm all the way, and then bring the knees in towards the chest, trying to reach the outside of your toes. And then slowly find your way back to the center and wait. So you inhale, lift up your right foot, squeeze it back down. Exhale, knees come in towards you, keeping the side body long, reaching to the outside of your right toes, and then slowly returning back. Great, inhaling, slowly lift. Exhale, reach. Cool, 2 more. And really just allowing for that small shift of weight to be enough to notice where your hips are, where's your belly, where can you breathe into this move. All right, let's start to add a nice little hip lift. So you're inhaling, lifting up your hips, reaching your arm up towards the ceiling, and then slowly returning, finding your hips back down. When your hips come back down, we're stretching out the legs this time, extending to the outside, releasing your toes, and then finding your way back. Great, so we inhale, lift on up, squeeze the ball, right arm goes up towards the ceiling, and then exhale, slowly come back down. As we inhale, stretch and reach, and then exhale, return. Cool. Inhaling up, squeezing the ball, just lifting your hips only enough, and then finding that smooth transition. Great, for your next 2, And remember, you're just allowing that reach to be a feeling of like extension all the way through your right shoulder. And just slowly moving enough that you can just sense where your body is lifting and how actually your hips can get a little bit higher each time off the floor. Cool, finding your way all the way back on 3, 2, and 1. Great, let's come into the middle for a moment. Giving ourselves a nice little grounded feeling of both feet onto the floor, and then bring your heels into the middle, squeezing the ball in between your hands, palms up, and we're slowly gonna hinge back. Great, so we're keeping the feet together. Your knees are actually gonna be together as you squeeze to the left, inhaling. And then slowly again, reach up and return. Good, twisting over to the right. So we're inhaling, twisting and reaching. And then exhaling, squeezing back and returning. Great, so inhaling up and back. And then exhale, squeeze. Now what I really want you to focus on is that stabilization of the knees. So at the moment your knees aren't actually shifting weight too much. Like you notice that maybe one knee gets a tiny bit higher as you twist through the waist, but your knees are not like knocking to one side or the other. And maybe you can hinge back a tiny bit more, maybe not. So just to kind of work with that angle that feels like, all right, I can work within this space. Cool, and your last one here. Great, and then finding your way back up, 3, 2, and 1. Cool, let's go straight away over to the right side. So again, taking the ball in between your thighs, not in between your knees. Right arm is at this 90-degree angle, left fingertips are nice and stacked. And we're just focusing here on lifting up and pushing on down. So you may notice, hey, that there is a huge range of motion. Maybe there's like a super small range of motion, but you're using the ball to squeeze into it to allow for that hip mobility for the next 3. Still keeping that right side body lifted for 2. And then your last one here. All right, so inhaling, squeezing the ball, and then slowly and steadily bringing your knees in towards the center, reaching the outside of your left toes, and then finding your way back. Great, so inhaling, squeezing and lifting, engaging the belly as we circle and reach. Cool, and remember just to kind of feel where you're lifting. If you're sitting into your right shoulder, to allow yourself to just push a little bit further away, using your core rather than your shoulder itself. Cool, for the next 2. And then the last one. Cool. Here we go. Ready? Squeezing into the ball, lifting up your hips, reaching this left arm up towards the ceiling. Slowly returning as we shift our weight, stretch out both legs, extend and hold. And then find your way all the way back. Inhaling, slowly squeezing the ball, reaching this left arm up. Exhale, return. And then use that slowness of that inhale, full range of motion. And then exhale back. Great, 4 more. And if you feel like your breath is really long today, you can also allow for this whole inhale to be a squeeze and a lower. And then use the rest for your exhale out. Cool. And remember here to only lift up as much as you can hold, and that left shoulder still stays very open feeling. It's not necessarily that you're going behind yourself, but if you feel like that's where you want to be, you may. For your last one here. And then all the way back. Super. Finding your way back to the center, take a deep breath. And then slowly come all the way back up. Alrighty, so let's bring the ball. Actually, let's just kind of cross our legs for a moment, just allow the hips to have a moment for themselves. I'm bringing the ball in between your hands, palms up, and this time I still want you to stack against that imaginary ball. So we're going to twist all the way to the right, keeping the elbows open for me here. And then squeeze the elbows together, keeping the twist in the spine. And then push the elbows right back up and squeeze and twist back to the middle. So inhaling to the left, keeping your spine long and upward facing. Bring the elbows nice and close to your body, keeping that twist in the spine. Inhaling, push into the ball, open the elbows, and exhale, return. I always find it's how much activation has to go into the arms here as well. Even just with that little holding of the ball. Remember, you're not digging your fingers in the ball, you're still using the entirety of your palm to push. And our last time here, inhaling, twisting to the left, squeezing elbows to go down, and then thinking about pushing everything up with your elbows and your shoulders and finding your way back to the middle. Awesome. Bring the ball into the center, roll and release forward. Super. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great. Finding your way all the way back to the center. And let's come back into the middle and rolling down for me. All right, let's put the ball underneath your right foot. Cool. And your left foot is next to it. So we're coming into a bridge position. Palms are going to come down by your side. Take a nice inhale. And then slowly peel your spine one vertebrae at a time off of the floor. Remember, your right foot is still on this ball. Cool. Inhale, slowly reaching the left arm, rolling the right leg just a little bit further away from you. And then exhale, finding your way back. Now, if at any point this feels like it's too far, you can always just stop, right? You don't have to necessarily extend the full leg. Just be mindful of what your lower back feels like and how you can still stay lifted and extend, but without lowering that entire body for the next 2. And your last one here. Great, let's slowly float the left arm up and then the right. Take a nice deep inhale. Let's come down just a little bit, reaching down towards the floor with the bum. And then exhale, opening your arms to a nice soft open hug as you lift back up. Now there's going to be a little bit of instability, which again is part of this process. So it's not that you have to completely let go into the ball. I want you to trust the ball, but I also want you to notice, hey, I'm trying to evenly distribute my weight between my left foot and my right. Even if my right feels a little bit wobbly for the next 3. And allowing the arms to take a different shape, right? As you open up, you're still soft and gentle, but still being strong in this hold and then letting it go nice and straight. Inhaling, opening up, and then engaging the belly as you reach. And your last one here. Great. Slowly melt your hands down, take a nice deep breath, and then bring your knees into your chest for a moment. Lifting your hips off of the floor, wiggling out anything that may need to be wiggled. Cool. And then slowly bring the foot on top of the ball on the left. Hands stay down by your side for a moment. Recalibrate. Make sure your spine is still long, hips are still quiet. Inhaling here. Then exhale, push into the ball on your left as you slowly peel. Now, if you feel like your right foot is super far away or like you're not balanced, make sure that that right heel is as much underneath the right knee as possible. Let's take a nice deep inhale, slowly lengthening the right arm, rolling that left leg just a little bit away, and then exhale, returning. Remember, the range of motion that happens here is fully personal. So if you feel like you can give that full reach and that feels good, then go for it. And remaining throughout with the stability all the way through all of your toes on the right side. You can also open your toes a little bit more so that there's even more space in between for the next 3. Feeling again, the left arm can still walk towards the edge of your mat even if you're not actually going anywhere for 2. And the last reaching moment here for 1. Good, let's float up the left arm and then the right. Take a nice deep inhale. Great, and then slowly lowering down, opening up your arms to the side. Exhale, engage and float back up, arms nice and long. So again, sensing the difference between that open, strong softness and then exhale, reaching it up. We're trying to keep the hips quiet. And if you want to bring that left foot a little bit closer or further away, depending on how much more you want or how little you want, make it work for you for the next 3, 2, and then your last one. Super melting all the way down for me, bringing your knees in towards the center. Alright, let's take the ball one more time. I bring it in between the thighs. Hands are coming behind your head and the insides of your feet are together. Great, so we're slowly going to tap down with the toes down towards the floor. And then as we come up, you're squeezing and reaching, extending your arms. So we're squeezing, tapping, lowering. Exhale, returning and reaching. Now you may even notice that the range of motion is actually smaller. So like if you feel like you want to bring your knees in all the way, you can, but you can also kind of hang out at that angle where you're actually not necessarily moving very far, but you have to hold for the next 3. Inhaling, tapping down, engaging the belly for 2. And then your last bit. Super knees come into your chest, slowly lower down for me. 3, 2, 1. Great, let's take the ball all the way out, flexing out your feet, and then reaching your arms all the way up for a moment. Take a nice inhale. Exhale, head, neck, and shoulders follow, and we lengthen all the way up to our nice tall seated position. Alrighty, we're gonna come over onto the right side and actually cuddle ourselves for a minute. So just give yourself like a moment of rest, that's okay. The elbow stays on the left side and your knees are gonna stay nice and bent for a moment. And then lift this left knee just a little bit up. Great, from here we're stretching the left leg out as we roll that left arm. And then finding a push up, a lower, and then a finding our way back. So inhaling, rolling out. Now remember, your palm is not going to stay on the ball the whole time. You're just allowing the arm to rest and find a little bit of stability, and then engage the belly to find your way back. So we inhale, reach and lift. And then exhale, lower and return. Cool, 2 more. And then your last one here. So allowing that full reach without going anywhere. Cool. And then finding your way back to the center for 3, 2, and 1. Great. Let me adjust my mic for a second. Excuse me. Okay, so let's push into the ball, stretching. Let's kick this top leg all the way here. So left shoulder stays down. We inhale, kick, and then exhale, swing back. Now at this moment, when the leg is bent on the right, you'll notice that there isn't such a huge range of motion, and that's kind of what I want. I want you to notice where the stable stopping point is, right? Because your hips aren't going anywhere for the next 2. And then finding that push in as you inhale, reach, and then exhale, return. Great, now stretch out the bottom leg on the floor and give it a nice little flex. Put the toes back down, and let's try it again. So inhale, kick. Now, check out how this feels. And it's sometimes just like a small change of an adjustment of your leg positioning that actually gives you such a wider range of motion, or maybe not. Great. For the next 2. And then your last one here. Good, keeping that left leg where it is pushed down into the ball. And then we're slowly lifting up this bottom leg. And we're bending the bottom leg, tapping the right heel to the left knee, and then stretching it on out for 5. So it's almost like you're holding yourself for a moment with a nice gentle downward feeling of the right toes. Left leg is extended for 3. Pushing into the ball for 2. And that full reach with the kick on the right for 1. Great, finding your way back to the center, take a deep breath. Then push yourself all the way up. Let's go over to the other side. All right, so again, getting nice and cozy. To begin with, just kind of sensing, all right, how much space do I want to take up right now? And then lifting the right knee just a little bit off of the floor. So remember, we're reaching out, and when we find the length, then we're pushing into the ball with the right hand, lifting up and lowering that right leg, and then slowly returning. And saying to ourselves, it's okay that the palm is not on the ball. Lots of people get like, well, my palm needs to stay on the ball. Your palm does not need to stay on the ball, not for all things. Just kind of like I sense it, I trust it, it's okay. My body can be here hanging out. And then engaging the belly, bringing it all back. Okay, 2 more. That inhale, reach and lift. And then the exhale, push down, keeping again that feeling of, okay, my chest is open. I do feel like I can allow for the space in the lower back, in the side body, and through the out of my toes. All right, and then slowly returning all the way here. Great, bringing the hand, sorry, now the ball comes underneath your hand. So you're flexing your foot, right shoulder stays down, and we're inhaling, kicking. And then exhale, lengthening back. Now remember, you're trying to stay quiet, meaning you're staying stable between the distance of your toes. So you're only swinging front and back. Your upper body itself isn't going anywhere. Great, 2 more. Pushing down into that ball, remaining open through the elbow. And your last one here. Good, keeping that right leg where it is, gently extending in the left leg, and then gently putting the toes on the floor. And trying it again to see if there's a difference between your inhale, kick, and your exhale, release. So I still feel like there is a difference when you have the bent legs. Sometimes it feels more stable, sometimes less. Sometimes you take up more space, sometimes less. Good. 2 more, again, pushing into the ball as you inhale and keeping that push to activate your arms and keep that full connection between all of your body parts. Good, keeping that right leg where it is, slowly lift up the left, and we're bending the left knee, bringing the left heel towards our right knee, and then exhale, kicking it away. So remember, maintaining that quiet, but lifting the side body just enough to engage the belly for the next 4. And holding yourself here happily for 3, 2, and then your last one. Super, everything comes back to the center, take a deep breath. All right, let's just come over onto all fours for a moment, just reaching ourselves back. All right, so we'll do one little plank. You can bring the ball in between your thighs and tucking your toes for me here, bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, opening up, and then slowly lifting up your knees. Good. And then just squeeze the ball for me here, kind of imagining that again we're wrapping around for 5, 4, squeezing, 3, 2, and 1. Super, knees come back down for a moment, take a deep breath. And then untuck your toes and come slowly onto one arm, reaching the other one in front. And then as you come back, you're gonna tuck your toes, squeeze and lift. Good, so now your left or your opposite arm stays put. You reach the arm, come back into the center, squeeze the ball and lift. Now remember, you're lifting from your core rather than your knees. And we're trying to maintain all of that quiet as we engage the belly and reach one arm and then return back. Good, 1 more on each side. Elbows still rotating back. And your last one here. Super. Slowly and steadily reach. Take the ball out. Reach and roll. For 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Finding your way all the way back up. Hello, mic. And let's put the ball to the side. Thank you so much. And then finding your way all the way onto your feet. And slowly and steadily stretching, bringing your heels and your toes to the outer edges of your mat. And here's where we say yes to everything that fits our vision of what we'd like our life to be. And we actively say no to everything else. I'm going to take another inhale. And then slowly stack all the way up. On 3, 2, and 1.